Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again. Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset as we head over to the Plateau. Going to talk to the 6A coach of the Cookeville Cavaliers. Hey, Coach Jimmy Maynord. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, Stark, I'm doing well.
Well, you came away with a win last week and got on top of the Upperman Bees. Let's talk a little bit of Cookeville Cavalier ball. How'd it go, Coach?
Well, I think, really for the lack of scrimmages and spring practice and everything that we talked about before, actually it went pretty well. Going into the first game, you always have a lot of question marks about how things are going to go. But, actually our kicking game was went real well for us. And I guess the biggest thing was, and we didn't have too many blown assignments. I guess our personnel groupings was probably where we, lacked a little bit there. And we've obviously got to clean that up and some other things. But really for the first week, and we did have one turnover. We fumbled early in the game. But it really was a pretty good, well-played ball game by both teams.
If I remember correctly, you had a real gutsy quarterback. Do you still have him?
I do. He had a good night, Stockton Owen.
Yes.
I think he had about 11 carries for 133 yards, maybe a couple touchdowns, and then I think he threw a touchdown pass. So he had a good night. Yes, he did.
So you feel like he's come along and he's filled, he's done where he needs to be as far as the best, as far as where he is as a kid, as far as a high school quarterback, he just, kind of developed and kept getting better and better. Or you feel like if he can play 3 or 4 more games, he might get even a little bit more better than that?
Well, he'll obviously, as the season progresses, he'll polish up and get better, I think. But he's a good player. He was a good player last year for us. He rushed for over 1,000, threw for over 1,000. So he's been battle tested and done really well. We had a little misfortune. Our tailback, B.J. Billen, we lost him for the season, about the third play of the game. He had a couple of good runs and blew his knee out there on the third play of the game. So we were disappointed that BJ, a senior, is not going to be able to finish his career out. But those things happen, and you have to move on, and other guys have got to step up and play.
So in that instance, where does that put you? A junior steps up, and now sophomore slides into the 2 slot, or where does that put us?
We actually had a senior that hadn't played football since middle school, and he's been a baseball player, a good-sized kid, Logan size. Logan's about 215, and he came in and ended up being our leading rusher. He scored a touchdown, had 159 yards, I think, like 15 carries. So he played really well for us, and then we feel like we had a little depth at that position. Evan White is a junior running back that will get some carries, and Samuel Duran and then Austin Davenport. So we've got a little bit of depth at that position, fortunately.
Well, and brings me to, I guess you're playing tomorrow night with us over at Tech, right?
We are, yes. We're playing. We're going to moved it up to Thursday night just because of the predicted weather that's going to come through here probably Friday. So we're going to play at Tech again, and hopefully. We got to travel to Riverdale next week, and then we'll be back home versus White County. And the turf hopefully it's shaping up really well.
I saw JPEG.
We'll opening the stadium up with the turf on the White County game.
I saw a picture of somebody. You got white lines. I do know that you got white lines in a green field. I saw that on Twitter.
We do, and it's really coming. It's really coming along well, and the weather's been good, and it's amazing what those guys can do in a day's time. They've really made great progress.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to get the kids out of there, and the biggest thing is, it's always a lot of people don't know how valuable it is to have all those marks and all those lines and all that stuff on the field permanently, isn't it, Coach? I mean, to tell a kid.
It cuts down on a lot of mowing, too, I'll tell you that.
I know that, but, if you're teaching the game of football, I'm aware of that, but, in the game of football, having those lines every day drawn so you can practice on those lines with nobody, just being able to go with lines every day in your field and practice, it's just huge, isn't it, Coach?
It is. It is. It definitely is going to be an asset for us in practice and even on down the road in future games and things.
What do you need to do Friday or tomorrow night against Livingston Academy? And I do not know much about them. And
well, they were undefeated last year. They went through the regular season undefeated, and got to the second, third round, I think, and lost to Nolensville maybe in the quarters or semis.
Yep.
But good football team last year. They did lose some kids. But they still have they're a pretty senior heavy team this time, about 21 seniors, and
wow.
They'll be, they're going to be, I don't think they'll be the team they were a year ago, but they're going to be a good football team. And Coach Lamb does a good job making his kids play physical, and they still got some good athletes on the football team. But, we're going to have to, it's going to be a tough game. We're going to have to play well, and hopefully, I told our kids, we should be better in week 2 than you are in week 1 and so on. But hopefully we will be.
When I think about Livingston, isn't that about 30, 35 minutes from Cookeville? Don't you just go straight up north and up through Rickman? And
that's right. It's probably 20 minutes. It's probably
okay.
It's probably 20 minutes. It's about 20 miles. That's actually my hometown. That's where I was raised.
Really?
In high school.
Okay. So how big is Livingston Academy, Coach? I mean, as far as student body.
They're probably, I would say they're probably 1,100 kids. Probably they're a 4A school. Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, if I'm in downtown Livingston, how long would it take me to get to Dale Hall and put my boat in?
Probably depending on which marina you want to put it in, but probably the closest is you have Sunset, which is probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes away, and you have Livingston Boat Dock, which is probably about the same. So you're pretty close.
Wow. I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful lake is Dale Hollow. Beautiful.
Oh, no doubt, yeah.
Well, Coach, good luck. Hope things go well. I hope everybody stays healthy and everything. Thank you so much for being on the show, and we will talk to you next week, hopefully.
Okay, thank you, Stork.
Thank you, Coach. Bye.
Bye-bye.